So today was supposed to be an ice fishing day, but Wisconsin did what Wisconsin weather does, and it ruined the ice. Threw a couple 40-degree days at us and some rain, which just destroyed the ice on the lake that I wanted to fish. So we're going to do something a little different today. I'm going to head up to the river and do a little test of a rod and reel that I bought Black Friday and do a review on a rod and reel that I bought this spring and just discuss it with you guys. So we'll see you out at the lake, or I'm sorry, the river. And through the magic of YouTube, we have arrived at the river. So something I wanted to start doing in addition to my veterans outreach stuff is I want to do small business shout outs. So today, not sponsored by anybody, but today's small business shout out is going out to Ken's Mobile Trailer Service. Thank you guys for the beanie, really appreciate it. Ken's Mobile Trailer Service serving Green Bay to, they'll make it down to Milwaukee, but generally Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Fantastic guys working there. They work on semi-trailers and they do a little bit of everything. So if you need an owner-operator or company running around the Fox Valley, Wisconsin area, give Ken's Mobile Trailer Service a call. I'll link their information below. I'm going to head out to the river and get set up. All right, sorry for the single camera setup. Santa was supposed to bring me a second camera and a better mic setup for Christmas, but instead he brought me brakes and a tire for the truck. So thank you, Santa, but yeah, we'll try for my birthday, I guess, for the other one. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about bait casters. I know I've been doing panfish stuff, but that's not just going to happen today because, Mother Nature. So I wanted to talk a little bit about bait casters. Anybody who's ever looked into bait casters knows one thing about them, and that's they're pretty much universally expensive for a good one. So when I was looking at starting this channel, and I really wanted to keep it for, the average person on the average salary, I wanted to look at bait casters that were going to be, economically priced. So I did a lot of research, and I settled on the Seasir M1 Ultra Mag. This reel, I got it this spring, and I have been thoroughly surprised by it. I really like it. We're going to do a little bit of casting with it today. I don't know if that's going to show up on camera. Let me, I have on the Z-Man Finesse TRD with the 1/10 ounce jig head, and that is the Gobi Bryant color. I've had this on for quite a long time. It's pretty good and chewed up, but we're going to go ahead and make a couple casts, and I'm going to talk about it as I'm fishing with it. Hopefully the microphone doesn't drop out and you can hear me all right. All right, so far from the first cast, but first cast today. In the summertime, I like coming to this spot because there's a tremendous amount of smallmouth that live in this river, and it's a lot of fun fishing for them in the summertime. I don't know that we're going to catch anything today. I do have a little bit of a headwind. Come out on this rock out here and give her another cast here. So that cast is going out about 20 yards. Oh, that's not a fish. I was hoping. Nope, got me a good snag. There we're out. Oh, I was hoping to get a fish on camera. Check my hook here. All good. All right. So the Seasir M1, it is not a bait finesse setup. It's not. I don't know. There are people that argue that it is, but the truth of the matter is, it is not a bait finesse rod. And I don't try and really necessarily fish it like it's a bait finesse rod, but it will throw pretty lightweight lures. Not down to, I don't know, I'd probably say this 1/10 ounce jig head with this finesse TRD on there is about as light as it'll comfortably throw, and it'll throw it really well. The downside to this rod is once you get up over, it won't throw anything in the half-ounce range. You throw something on there that's a half-ounce, and it's going to be nothing but backlashes and frustration all day long. There's something down there. Can't tell if I'm hopping on bottom or if nope, I was hopping on bottom. Sure as hell felt like something was trying to nibble at it. When I bought this reel, I think I paid like $64.99 for it, and all year it's been a dream to cast. A lot of smallmouth on it, a couple largemouth. There are some guys that I watch on YouTube, follow pretty regularly, that fish down south, and they talk about cold water temperatures being in the upper 40s. And yeah, when I can't fish myself, I watch other people fish. Got to feed the habit somehow. They talk about winter bass and fishing down south and cold temperatures. You guys down south don't know what cold temperatures are. I'm sorry. Love y'all. You guys are great people. Was stationed down south for a little while, and there is something real to be said about southern hospitality, but you guys have no idea what cold is. We're going to give this a couple more casts, and then I don't know if I mentioned it, but pretty much everything I've thrown with this, I have found that I need to have the brakes set at 6 or 6.5, regardless of the weight of the lure. If I step it down or I step it up, the sweet spot on this reel seems to be that 6.5 range on the brakes. If I turn it down to 5, I always seem to want to over spool, and if I crank it up to 7, it just doesn't cast quite as far. All right, that's enough of that. All right, so the Seasir M1 mag, absolutely love it. Great size reel. Easy to palm if you're a guy that fishes that way. Me, I always hold it down, use the finger lock. I know I'm weird that way. A lot of guys will palm their reels. I just never got comfortable with that, my big old meat paws. So early renditions of this reel, the spool tension knob was really, really hard to turn, and a lot of people couldn't turn it. They did fix that in later updates of the reel. So for my spool tension knob, spins just fine. My only real complaint about this reel, if you were to ever pick it up, is again, big old meat hands, big thumb, is on when I use a bait caster, I have a tendency to use my thumb on the spool for drag assist, and I have found that just the way that this one sits in my hand and the way I hold it and everything, I have to, in other reels that I've used, I've used the bottom part of my knuckle there right on the spool as a drag assist. On this one, I have to bend my thumb and use the top of my thumb, because I find that I hit that, the release bar there, and it just, I don't know, it's more of an annoyance, and I think that's mostly just because I have, giant hands. So, but otherwise, the grips, the knobs on this are, I know a lot of people get real particular with the knobs, and some guys like the foam knobs, some guys like plastic knobs, different shapes and everything. There's nothing wrong with them. They're a hair on the small side, but the knobs will work. They do what they're intended to do. The reel itself, it is a solid aluminum frame, and then the rest of it feels kind of plasticky, like the side cover and the top part here, and everything else feels a little plasticky, but the reel frame itself is solid aluminum, which is why I picked this one in particular. It's plenty strong. I've horsed out some fish. I've pulled up, I got stuck in a tree branch, and I pulled up a chunk of tree branch with it. It's plenty strong enough. So if you are someone who is going out trying to find a budget baitcaster reel, this Seasir M1 Ultra Mag, I love it. I've used it plenty of times. If you're someone who likes fishing with not necessarily bait finesse style fishing, but you like fishing with these lighter lures, these Ned rigs and stuff for bass, I would have absolutely no trouble whatsoever recommending you picking this up. It does a very good job. Maybe pair it with a better rod, but again, this Ozark Trail IM7 rod really surprised the heck out of me, and I'll do a video on it later. So, but for now, that'll be it for this setup, and I'm going to go grab my other one, and we'll talk about that. All right, a few years ago, my buddy got himself a crappie rod, and I've kind of had the itch to get myself one ever since. I've always used, just your kind of standard lightweight or ultralight rod and reel combos. You all know I'm a huge fan of ugly sticks, so I've had an ugly stick, the GX2. Actually featured that in my first video. Fantastic. I love it for panfish, but my buddy got himself a crappie rod, and I've kind of, don't know why, but the itch to buy one bit me, and I've been watching and saving pennies, and this one here went on sale after doing a lot of research and a lot of reading and just checking stuff out. This is the Bass Pro Shop's Borealis. I don't know if that's going to show up. I will, whoa, a little slick there. I will throw a picture here or whatever of the tag on it with all the specs. This is a 10'6" ultralight rod with the Borealis. Well, it's the Bass Pro Shop. I don't know who makes the reel, but it's a Bass Pro Shop Borealis branded reel. Gear ratio on it is, what is that, 5.0 to 1. So this, it does have, and I know, I'm weird. I know a lot of people hate it. A lot of people are like, oh, you got to have that instant anti-reverse and that's it. Okay, so this does have that instant anti-reverse, but then you got this little switch here where you can actually manually back off the line and put it in and go, you know, spin it both ways. I like that feature. I know, I'm weird, whatever. You do you, I do me. So this has, you can see, I don't know if that's going to show up on camera, but you can see this is a very, very flexible tip on that with a 10 foot 6. I'm hoping this thing will just launch. This is the first time I've used this rod and reel. I've got it for Black Friday, and I have been chomping at the bit to get it out, and thought I was going to have to wait for summer, but as you can see, yeah, I'm able to. So I've got this paired up today with, again, the 1/10 ounce micro shrooms head with the Z-Man, and this is the, oh man, what color? The purple death color on their little swimmers. So I'm going to go out and not going to attempt to catch anything with this. I really just want to make a few casts. Again, I've got about maybe a, I don't know, 3 to 5 mile an hour headwind blowing right in my face. But I really just want to cast this out and see how far this lure goes and really just toss it around. Absolutely not expecting to catch a fish, but here goes. Holy baloney! That launched. And I didn't even really put any snot into that either. Whoa! Ran that right up into the end there. Alright, here we go. Oh my God. That throws that little lure a country mile. Let's do that again. I've got this spooled up with a 6-pound P-line. Love that P-line stuff. That cast wasn't quite as far. Had a little bit of a gust of wind there that came up. Wow. The reel is incredibly smooth, and I mean incredibly smooth. Holy cow. God, and that lure just goes, even into the headwind. Boy, it is brisk out. Air temperature right now is somewhere in the mid-30s. Get a couple more casts on this. Wow. That's throwing that little lure probably out 30 yards. That's impressive. Plus with this 10 foot 6 rod, there are a couple of rivers that I fish where, wow, that's awesome. Oh, and then the wind caught it last second and blew it back in my face. But with this 10 foot 6 rod, there are a couple rivers that I fish where, oh, bummer. Oh, got it out. Thought I had some, but that, just another snag. So there are a couple rivers where I fish where this rod will be able to reach about a third of the way across it, which is nice. So if you get fish that, oh, got it wrapped around the end there. There we go. Come on, there we go. You get fish that possibly will not bite because they can see you on the bank. Well, solution is get a really long rod. Stay a little bit further away from the bank when you're making your casts. Boy, this is nice. I think I'm going to like this come summer. Not really expecting anything to bite out here on this little lure, but there really aren't any panfish to speak of. Another snag. Come on. Ooh. I don't know if you can hear that, but it does have the clicky drag. There we go, we're out. Buttery smooth reel, clicky drag, which I love. Instant anti-reverse, and with a flick of the switch, you've got, so with a flick of the switch, I can spin it down. I like that for a lot of reasons. Every once in a while, you get a tangle right up on the reel, and come over here, you. You know, you get a tangle right up on the reel, and you kind of wish, oh man, I want to just be able to, oh yeah, it's still sharp. I want to be able to just kind of back it off without pulling drag, or you can't pull drag because of where the tangle is, or, you know, any one of 100 different reasons for why it's not going to work. And I like to be able to back my reel off manually like that. And I know there are a lot of people who don't, but quite frankly, I do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, we're going to put this away. All right, so first impressions, just on casting it around, I like it. I like it a lot. The reel is incredibly smooth. Got this solid cork handle. The cork doesn't seem to be incredibly high quality, but it is nice and smooth, and it is a solid cork handle with the cork on top here. The reel seats, pretty standard reel seats, nothing special about it. The gripper knob, standard little plastic. Nothing about the reel feels really cheap though, which I like. It does feel like it's a solid, pretty solid reel, which is nice. First impressions, absolutely no complaints. Drag is easy to set. The drag knob on top is very, very cheap feeling plastic. I'll admit that, but the reel itself feels solid otherwise. The rod itself is a two-piece. Gonna go ahead and break that down right now because, whoa boy, there we go. Because I'm not gonna be using this again today. Oops, as I wrap myself up. Ah, see, another time when it's nice to have that little instant reverse feature there. When you're not paying attention and you wrap your main line up in it. So for the most part, absolutely no complaints about this so far. We'll get it out this spring on the lake and see if we can actually catch some fish with it. But so far, really, really nice. Thoroughly enjoying it. So we're going to reposition down the river just a little bit, and I'm going to go see if I can't catch a bass or two on my other rod as long as I'm here and I had that nibble. So I'll record it. If anything happens, I'll throw it out there. If not, we'll see you back in the lair for some final thoughts. So final thoughts, that Seasir M1, absolutely love it. Used it all summer long. was throwing around Ned rigs just fine. Biggest thing it would throw, and I had to kind of be gentle with it a little bit, was the Z-Man Big TRD. Weight wise, that was the biggest thing it would comfortably throw. Had to be a little bit gentle with the casts on it, but otherwise anything in the Finesse TRD, these TRD hogs, it was great. Savage Gear has their own little Ned rig thing. I'll talk about all that later on in bass season, but yeah, cast all those fantastic, little craws and whatnot. Also these 1/8 ounce beetle spins, it does real well with those two. I would have, if you're considering it, I would have absolutely no hesitation. I'm actually thinking about ordering a second one now. I would have no hesitation whatsoever in recommending you check that out. That Seasir M1, outstanding reel. And then first impressions on the Borealis. It did great. Was only with it for what, 15 minutes maybe today, but no complaints with that either. I think it's going to be a joy to fish with. So another final shout out to Ken's Mobile Trailer Service. They're our local spotlight on a boy, I can't talk. Brain's still frozen. It's a spotlight on a local small business, Ken's Mobile Trailer Service. I'll have them linked below. Thanks for the beanie and the ball cap, guys. Y'all are doing great. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today. Y'all take care. We'll catch you on the next one.